Hey guys, thanks for tuning back into the channel, and today we're going to be actually getting the system all hooked up and ready for operation. Now there's going to be a couple of things that I'm going to be doing here today is hooking up the system, making sure all the connection points are good, ready to go, and that includes adding the engine oil in it. I'm not going to fire it up just yet though. In this episode, it's just connecting all the pieces, and this is more of a how-to video to see if you're going to have a similar system for your UTV or pull behind ATV to see if this system would be adequate. So we're going to be doing some testing later on this week, but for now this episode is just going to go over the components, going over the oil that I'm going to be using, and just basically everything. Now if you're in Canada, what I'll do is I'll put the part numbers down on this if you want to build a similar system. Again, this is not going to be the end result because there's going to be some bugs that I'm working out, mainly, you know, where to mount the engine. Do I put it on a pedestal? Do I make it more portable? Those are the things that I'm going to be looking at doing to improve it down the road. So right now, just hook up the system, get it all working together, take it out on the field, do some field testing, and then fine tune it from there. So let's jump on the bench here in the back tailgate and see what components I have and see how we're putting all this together. Well guys, first things first is going to be the actual pump. This is a 1-inch water transfer pump. It's by Power Fist, which is known as Princess Auto here in Canada. They sell similar units in discount stores in the US like Harbor Freight. So you'll probably get something very similar, if not the same, with just different logos on it. It is a small pump though. It's only a 79cc. It's got a maximum 37 PSI pressure. And again, it's just a small basic pump. I went with it due to its compact size, and when I reviewed it online, it was more than adequate for the type of equipment I am planning to build. So anyway guys, I'll show you what it looks like in the back of the UTV, and then we'll carry on throughout our connection system. Well guys, there it is out of the box and how it's sitting in the UTV. For some clearance issues, I may have an issue if I want to keep it in the same setup. I'll definitely have to build a pedestal. The hose may get a bit kinked due to the angle, and also the exhaust is kind of hitting the side of the box, and that may cause some damage through the hot exhaust. So anyway guys, that is part of what I am fine tuning. But anyway guys, you see the transfer pump. I'm going with that, and then also with this Loaf tank. It's basically a 55-gallon Loaf tank, and it's by UFA. UFA is United Farmer Association, I believe. I bought it there. I can't remember the pricing. I'll have to go take a look at it. I'll look it online to see what the current prices are. It's a 55-gallon Loaf tank, and that's kind of where the part number is for your reference and everything. Again, I'll put everything in the description below on the video. And so that's kind of where we're at with it. So the other components is it's going to be the feeder hose, and we're going to start with that. The connection process goes into the suction part of it, and then it goes into the propeller, and then out the discharge, which is this 50-foot fire hose with the attachments and everything in place. Draws the water from the tank, goes through the pump out, sprays. Pretty simple as it is. So we got a lot of little components here. I read the owner's manual, making sure I'm using the proper correct grade of oil for the engine and any other specifications that are within spec on adjustments and preparation. So I am going to go with engine oil in this to a 10W30 is what they call for. Just going to go with a regular Napa brand, which is more than enough for this type of equipment. And then I got some grease here. That's just to help the fittings a little bit. And of course, I'm going to be using some thread tape, Teflon tape for the connection so we don't get any leaks. And then of course, put this all together. So we're going to actually start with the tank end, and we're going to start with this foot valve. We're going to install this one in. This foot valve here is for putting it in the tank. And if you're drawing from not clean water sources like ponds and retention areas or mud puddles even, you know, you don't want any real big components or any, you know, larger debris that could, you know, damage the pump. So you want to use like a filter type system. There are definitely a lot of different filter systems. This one's compact. So this is known as the foot valve, also a screen pump to again protect your pump from any larger debris that get through. So we're going to start with this, and then we're going to move on to the couplers for the pump, and then carry on. It shouldn't take that long, but I'll definitely show you the process. Okay guys, we're going to start with this end here. It's basically a 1-inch hose, and I'm going to get this coupler in. This is the attachment coupler that I'm going to be using, and the foot valve gets threaded onto this one. So I am going to put Teflon tape on everything, just in making sure everything is in good shape. So this is kind of a tight fit right now, so I might have to warm it up. I'm going to try with a little bit of grease. This should help a little bit, but again, it is a real tight fit, so I might have to use a combination of things just due to its, you know, tightness in it. So anyway, we're going to lube this up a little bit. I'm going to lube both of them up on the inside and outside. Again, just to try to help it along to get in there and everything else. So there we go. Again, if I'm running into trouble, I'll stop the camera, fight with it off camera, and then come back. So, okay guys, finally got it on the hose. It was a bit of a tight fit, but anyways, it worked. So the trick was, because it was a really you know, tight clearance, I warmed it up with a little bit of heat, just enough to make this thing a little bit more pliable, and with that little bit of help with that little extra grease, she slid right in. However, I'm not going to trust it just with that. I'm going to put one clamp on here just to hold it on, and then I'm going to do some Teflon tape with the foot valve. So let's go get that done, and we'll see what the finished results is on the end that's going to be drawing the water. Well guys, there's basically the finished result. I know I could have done a better job on the Teflon tape. Try to go clockwise and to cover most of the threads up until the very top. But anyway guys, I'll do a little bit better job. Not really too worried about it at this end. This engine's always underwater, so it's not spraying out. We're not really worried about leaks. We're basically trying to seal it as best as possible. But anyway, so we got the foot valve, we got the Teflon tape on the attachment part to the hose, and then we're using basically a 1.5-inch clamp, hose clamp for this. And so kind of that end is all together. Again, should be fine. This goes in the tank and everything else. Now the opposite end of this one is going to be getting the coupler lock. So let's go and finish this guy up, and then we will start the attachment on the actual pump itself. Alrighty everybody, now again, this is the coupler. I'm using aluminum. Plastic could break or crack easy. I'm trying to keep it all the same, although some of the components do have a system that is plastic on it. So again, just be aware to be more careful. Again, if I try to push it in a little bit, it's going to be a little bit harder. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to heat it up a bit. I'll show you what I did with it. Again, I don't think you have to heat it up too much. It's got a little bit of the cut marks around here. So I'm just going to go in there. It's probably better if you don't breathe this stuff in because it is poisonous. Not probably good for you, but I got the garage door open. It's not really helping me to, or affecting me too much. So just try to make it a little bit so it's kind of pliable. This little thing's not going to heat up all that much. I may have overdone it on the other side. I kind of really heated up a lot, but anyway, just trying to get it in there to try to heat it up. I guess there's no oxygen in there, and just try to get it so it starts a little bit, and it'll be easier to push. So you know, you don't have to go very long. Like I said, I'm going as I'm talking, and we'll see how that goes. Again, I'm not going to really put too much on there. Again, that one there was a lot easier. I'm going to go on the floor, push it in, and that should be it. Well, everybody, the finished product. Again, I had to heat the hose up, as you saw there, kind of did some coaxing off the camera, put the clamps in, got everything in, and again, it's all ready for install. So this part here to feed the pump from the water source is all done. Foot valve, adapter, a hose, and again, some clamps to keep everything in place to stop the vibration. I double clamped it here at this end, but I single clamped it over at the end. That is where the foot valve is. It was a lot stiffer and stronger, so I think one clamp will work. If not, I guess I'll find out when I do some field testing. So the next step is we're going to put this hose aside. We're going to bring the pump out on the bench, and then we're going to do a quick install of the coupler on the suction end. Okay guys, I'll put everything aside here. This is the pump end, so the hose that I attached everything to will be feeding this part of the pump. And so all we need to do is attach this coupler here to this system here. So I'm going to go in there and just kind of give it a good, make sure that I'm on the right size with this one here. It doesn't have to be very tight, just nice and snug. Of course, having the right tools for this is probably better, except I'm limited in it, so I'm just using an adjustable. Again, it's just there to tighten it on perfectly. So again, all we're going to do on this side of the pump is add some Teflon tape and then get this on there and then make sure it's all tidy. Again, you want to make sure that the threads are in good shape. I'm just going to pull this out so it's a little bit cleaner when I install this end rather than the other end. And again, you want to go clockwise with it, just so it has a cleaner, nicer, when you're threading it on, it doesn't want to fight it off. So again, the rule of thumb is 2 to 3 times. Don't, I got a little bit of debris in there. Don't go right to the full threads, just leave a little bit, and 2 to 3 times should be sufficient in it. Again, we'll be checking for leaks, obviously. This will be easy to repair if it's, you know, not suitable. Should be good. Again, this likes to stick. Perfect. So I got some nice thread sealant on here. Again, start it by hand so it's nice and tight, and then go as tight as you can go, and then snug it with the adjustable wrench here. And then that is it for, look at that, I thought I did it. I guess I got a real good fitment. Let me make a little bit of adjustment. There we go. Perfect. Okay. Now, just for clearance issues, there we go. It's nice and tight, shouldn't leak. Let's get this side here, test it out. Let's rip some of the labels off. Again, what you're going to do is, these ones go backwards when they're locked into it. So you can do one at a time. And again, not too fond of these little eyelets. They kind of get it. But anyway, guys, that's kind of where it looks like it's all in nicely. So the suction part of the pump is completed. Again, same process for this part, and I'll show you the fire hose. That one there's mostly together, comes as a kit. Just going to do a quick little Teflon tape where the fire hose meets the outlet hose part, and then fill it with oil, check it all, and yeah, then basically wait for the field test. I'll kind of put everything in its place where I'm going to plan on having everything mounted, and then yeah, we can go over there and do a final walk around. Okay, everybody, I'm doing the last little bit. This is the last connection piece. This gets connected, this gets connected to the hose, and then the hose already has that connection on it. So I'm just adapting the fire hose to the coupler. And again, I'm not going to use the wrench on this. It's plastic and it can easily break. So again, that's pretty tight. Of course, I'll be checking for leaks. And this is the end that this gets all plugged in together. So again, it's not, it's basically very easy, snaps into place, and it's all done. And of course the other end, which is here, can now be attached to the outlet here. again, the hose was already made for it. So just have to go in there and lock her up in place. Again, it's got some safety connections to it. Let's see how that works. And she's got a nice tight fit to it. So you got to kind of work it in and making sure they're tight all together. And that is it. There we go. So basically, all it needs now is motor oil and some water source, and we can check it out. And that'll be going on this week sometime. Let me go put it all together. We'll go through a walkthrough on it, and then we will do a final wrap-up. Alrighty, guys. So again, it's not permanently mounted the way I would like to. The bungee cord is just kind of there holding the hose. So it's kind of not rigged out exactly the finished product, but the components are all there. So we have this part here sticking in the tank, and at the this is, you can get any type of hose you want. I did this one here. Again, this one fills in the tank. Foot valve, adapter, and clamp and hose goes in, draws the water out, and then from there snakes all the way down into the inlet pump and pumps the water. Here's where you're going to need to prime it. So before you use it, you got to get a bottle of water or some water, fill it up, and then it shouldn't have any air in the systems. Then again, as the engine's running, it puts it out here. These are the clearance issues I'm talking about to see if I need to improve on it, which I think I will. Might have to build a pedestal where this sits up high and out of the way. And again, we do have a little bit of exhaust issues with the side of the bed. And then from there we have the exit hose and the outlet here. Quick run and grab and go. So should be quick starting. These are pretty decent machines. The owner's manual, extra oil, those are going to go in the cab of the vehicle for quick reference and any troubleshooting that you may have in the field. So that's basically the whole setup, and what she looks like. Fits perfectly in the Argo Magnum XF500. Should be able to haul at least 50 gallons of water without having any weight penalties. And again, we're going to talk about safe operations with this type of equipment called liquid transport, and of course to see how it performs out in the bush. But anyway, guys, hope you found that interesting. If you like it, leave a comment on what you thought. Any ideas, suggestions, or improvements, I'm all ears. This is an ongoing project that will just get better with time. So anyway, guys, thought it'd be interesting to see build a little fire truck for a UTV, especially with all the outrageous fires that, you know, we're already experiencing and will experience for the rest of the summer here up in Canada. So anyway, guys, we'll talk to you soon. You guys stay loose for now, and we'll catch you on the next episode of Cordetti Motorsports. Okay, stay loose for now.